What is up, fam? Skadam, it is your man, Mr. ReAktion here in the flesh, and we back handing you that breath. Unfortunately, we got to talk about some buffoonery. Straight buffoonery. Okay, so play that clip.
I say, them niggas out, nigga.
Now look at Offset response.
I'm getting out the shit.
Okay, now go back to the original clip.
Go Kanye, nigga. I'm with shop, man.
Now look at Offset living his life. Look at that. Okay, go back to the clip though. Like, one more time, go back to the clip.
I'm with shop, yeah.
But peep Offset though.
What you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk inside your trunk.
Oh man. This is a petty situation.
Outside, nigga. Big Queens, right? Yeah. Drop your low now, nigga. Drop your low now, nigga.
Now, if you ask me, what's wrong with folks? Now, if you ask me, this is a definition. The definition of a petty situation. Straight up. Cheers to y'all, my people. So I wasn't going to talk about this. And then my producer, Chris, sent me a message. Shout out to Chris and his lovely wife for holding me down. But I wasn't going to talk about this until the homie Chris sent it over to me and said, yo, you need to talk about this. And me and my unique way of approaching stories, I said, well, there is actually a story that I need to talk about buried within. Now, apparently this individual, Kenneth Petty, right? You can tell by the last name. Nicki Minaj's husband. Now, I like Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying? I always have, you know. But I don't like this situation, right? The husbands of female rappers beefing. Is he married to Cardi B? Anyway, here you have a man and his boys standing on the block on what appears to be a cold-ass street in New York City, talking shit to another man, talking trash based off of what, a DM or, you know, a message sent or somebody saying drop the addy or whatever it was. This is such a strange situation is because I've been in rooms with like, you know, some real street dudes, and I've seen some real street dudes get real mad to the point where you was like, they wasn't falling back. But some I've seen like really hold composure, like really hold frame, you know what I'm saying? And so when I saw this, I was like, the first thing I thought was like, it reminded me of Jeezy and Gucci Mane. Now, life was lost in that Gucci Mane and Jeezy beef. Now, I don't know if because of this whole, you know, Jeezy divorce, this is why Jeezy was on my mind. I don't know if that played a part, but, you know, possibly, right? When I saw this situation, it reminded me of that. It also made me think, this brother right here, you know what I'm saying, like, is not moving like some of the dudes that I know in the street or I've met that are street dudes. They don't really move like that. Why are we posting online? Is that what they do? We posting beef, we internet thugs, like, you know, is that what we doing? You know what I'm saying? So when I saw this, I was like, yo, it's really odd that this man who, the only other time I've heard about this brother was about his, you know, allegations that he had years ago or his conviction or whatever it was. Like, you're a registered offender and you providing evidence for a court of law in the event, God forbid, but in the event something happens to this brother Offset. Like, that's not a good look. Like, who moves like that? What Lil Wayne say? Real G's moving silence like lasagna. You know, I think that as men, we should learn how to resolve situations instead of taking it the street route. And I think far too many times we take it the street route. As I mentioned earlier, you know, the Jeezy and Gucci Mane beef led to, you know, a man being murdered. So I would hate to see one of our brothers, you know, go down. I want to see everybody go home. I want each and every one of these dudes involved go home to their wives. I'm not sure if Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty have children or if Cardi and Offset. I don't follow these people. But I want these dudes to go home to their wives. I want these dudes to go home to their children if they have them. I don't want anyone to, be a casualty over some senseless nonsense. Because that's what this is nonsense. And I don't know the ins and outs of what happened. I mean, none of us do. But if a life is lost, it's still not worth it. And so another thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this was Larry Elder. Now, Larry Elder recently did an interview. Not that Breakfast Club bullshit where they just didn't let the brother talk. Not that degenerate bullshit. He did an interview after that with the PBD podcast. And he said something interesting about black on black crime. Now, I hate this term black on black crime, but it's real. Melanated brothers have a higher likelihood of being killed by each other as opposed to the police. Listen what the good brother Larry Elder had to say. Listen to this.
70% of black kids in the world today without a father in the home married to the mother, up from 1965 when it was 25%. And the numbers are clear. When you're raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. When I was trying to make this case on Charlemagne, and of course they were not having it. According to the CDC, a young black man aged 10 to 43 is 13 times more likely to be murdered than a white male, same demo. Blacks account for 60% of the shootings, robberies, and the homicides in America. A young white man, 19 and under, the number one cause of preventable death for a young white man in that demo is accidents, like car accidents or drownings or drug overdoses. The number one cause of preventable death for a 19-year-old black male and under is homicide, almost always committed by another young black male. Now, if it isn't fatherlessness, please tell me, unless you're prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime, tell me what it is.
Who is the people that are influenced the most by these things? And it's obviously the youth. So you mean to tell me that we're going to have young people seeing this brother on the street, on the block, waiting for his op, you know what I'm saying? And they're not going to get inspired by that? Bro, it's like a war zone out here. And it's not a war zone because old heads. It's a war zone because of the youth. And so I think we need to be a little bit more conscientious of that. I think we should be a little bit more sensitive to the power that we have. We should be a little bit more in control of what we do. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like the movie American Gangster or you agree with Denzel's character's motives, he was very calm and calculated. With certain scenes that he wasn't, but he was very calm and calculated. He didn't do and act out or have to show. And the moment he did act out and show when he had that fur, it ended up being his undoing. And so, I think that's a lesson to be learned. You on the street giving evidence to the feds, in the event that something happened to someone else, they're going to look at you, the guy that's registered as an offender. You already have priors and you doing this. As my dad always used to say, kids don't do what you say. They do what you do. And so when they're influenced by all of this, buffoonery out here, they're going to turn around and they're going to follow suit. They're going to do all these things. They're going to recreate all this stuff. And that's sad. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all happening in our community. This is all pollution that we need to rectify. These are all things that we need to situate inside of our community. Like I said, I want everybody to go home. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to be a casualty. I don't want nobody to be a statistic. Because we don't have to be. But sometimes people choose to be. Unity is the name of the game. As soon as we unify, it's a wrap. But how could you unify when all you look at and watch, and digest is this buffoonery? But my boy Offset over here, this dude over here, at the Deion Sanders, at the college game, this dude over here, having sleepovers, at Kai's house. This dude is out here on jets, playing ping pong and doing all that. This dude is living. He ain't fazed by none of this, man. Shout out to all the rappers and guys in the streets that came up in the street life that know how to actually conduct a conversation and say hey, We need to talk this out. I happen to wear my, my Big L shirt, and it wasn't purposely, you know what I'm saying? I used to love Big L growing up. So rest in peace to Big L. If I'm not mistaken, I think he might have passed in August. R.I.P. to the legend, the young legend who died too soon as a result, of gun violence. And we don't need any more of our young kings being slain in the streets over nonsense. We don't need this. You know what I'm saying? So knock that shit off, man. You know what I'm saying? Go count y'all money. Y'all got too much money to be out here acting stupid. But as always, my people, I am ReAktion. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment. I want to hear your feedback below. See what you guys think about this situation. Do consider subscribing. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Stay sturdy, my people. Love.